Kieran was a young man filled with ambition. He dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur, traveling the world, building a happy family, and living a life full of freedom and passion. However, there was one thing that kept him from pursuing these dreams: laziness. Every time he thought about starting something, he felt exhausted. His dreams remained as beautiful ideas in his mind, never taking shape. He kept finding excuses to procrastinate, telling himself that he wasn't ready yet, that he needed more time or knowledge. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and Kieran continued to hold on to his big plans without ever taking action. He was not lacking ambition, but he lacked the action to make it a reality. Whenever he saw others succeeding, Kieran would feel jealous and wonder why he couldn't do the same. But when it came to actually starting, he always hesitated. One day, while scrolling through social media, Kieran stumbled upon the story of a young female entrepreneur named Thao. She came from a humble background, but in just a few years, she had built a multi-million-dollar tech company. Thao shared that her secret to success wasn't some innate talent, but the ability to act immediately. She didn't wait for the perfect moment. She began with small steps and learned from her failures. Kieran was deeply impressed by her story. He wondered, how could she do this? And I'm still stuck in the beginning. He realized that the problem wasn't a lack of dreams or desires, but a lack of action. Sometimes all it took was one decision to start, and everything would begin to change. That was the moment Kieran decided to change. He could no longer live in the endless loop of procrastination and laziness. But instead of diving into huge tasks right away, he decided to break his goals down into smaller steps. He started planning every little detail for his journey. Like Thao, Kieran wouldn't wait for the perfect moment. He would take action now, even if it meant starting with small steps. However, what Kieran didn't expect was that even after he made this decision, laziness kept creeping back. Every morning, when he woke up, he felt the urge to sleep a little longer or found himself distracted with other things. I'll start tomorrow. Today, I need to rest, he would tell himself. And just like that, a week, then 2 weeks passed, and Kieran was still dreaming about his big projects but had not yet taken any real action. But then, one day, while sitting and reflecting on the goals he had set for himself, Kieran suddenly remembered a quote by Brian Tracy. Laziness is the #1 enemy of success. It never compromises, and if you don't stop it, it will devour you. At that moment, Kieran realized that if he didn't act today, he would never achieve the life he dreamed of. He couldn't just sit there and wait for the right moment. He had to start now. With this realization, Kieran made a list of things to accomplish that day. He didn't set huge goals, but started with something small, researching the market and the field he wanted to pursue. Just one small step, but it was a step that would bring him closer to his goal. After a few days, the excitement returned. He didn't feel tired or demotivated anymore. Instead, he felt satisfaction every time he completed a small task. One day, as Kieran continued working on his project, he remembered another quote from Tony Robbins. "You are not what you think. You are what you do. Don't let lazy thoughts or procrastination define your life." Kieran understood that success doesn't come from just thinking about it. It comes from doing. He had to change his bad habits and face his fear of failure. Each day, Kieran became more disciplined. He learned how to break tasks down and focus on one thing at a time, instead of trying to do everything at once. Persistence helped him overcome challenges and push through his laziness. He no longer feared failure, as he had learned that failure was simply part of the learning process. Slowly, Kieran's small steps started to yield results. He got his first customers, and his business began to gain traction. While there were still obstacles to overcome, Kieran was no longer afraid or hesitant. He knew that every step forward was a small victory, and those small victories would ultimately lead to big success. One evening, while reflecting on his journey, Kieran felt grateful for everything he had gone through. He had learned that laziness was just a habit, and habits could be changed if one was determined enough to act. He also realized that every time he overcame procrastination, every time he kept moving forward, he became stronger. He now understood that success is not a destination. It's a journey. Success came from those small steps, from persistence, from never giving up no matter how difficult it seemed. Kieran was no longer just a dreamer. He had become a man of action, someone who no longer allowed laziness to hold him back. He not only built a successful business, but he also built a life of freedom and meaning. If you are like Kieran, full of ambition but trapped in procrastination, here's some advice for you. Laziness is not part of your inherent nature. It's a habit that can be changed. Don't let procrastination get in the way of your dreams. Start acting today, even if it's just one small step. Do the things you can do right now. And don't wait for the perfect moment. As Brian Tracy said, laziness is the #1 enemy of success. It never compromises. And if you don't stop it, it will devour you. Remember, success is the result of action. You are not what you think. You are what you do. Don't let laziness define your life. Start today. Don't procrastinate. That's the only way to change your life. And as Tony Robbins said, you are not what you think. You are what you do. Success is the result of small actions, not distant dreams. Take action, even if it's just one small step, to build the future you want.